Hello all and welcome to Astro Wheel of Fortune. My name is Vlada and I read tarot. Today I'm doing a reading on how will this first meeting or just meeting in general go. Now I want this to be quite broad, so I'm setting the intention that this can be used for any type of meeting, and I want to especially honor career type of meetings, so maybe like interviews, etc. But also this can be applied to any type of meeting. But I feel like there's a lot of readings out there on, personal meetings, romantic meetings, and so I definitely want to make sure that I honor that angle of a more professional meeting. I want to look in this reading, I want to look at what kind of impression will you give off, what kind of lasting energy will you imprint, I suppose, in the room or on the people that you are meeting with, and just to see what energies are at play within this meeting. So I'm setting the intention that you can use this for any meeting with any person, within any situation, but definitely if you are someone who's interested in like an interview type of meeting, if you want to look at a professional type of meeting, if you want to look at any meeting scenario that is not strictly romantic or emotional, this is definitely going to be a reading for you. So we've got 4 groups here. We've got group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. You can pause the video if you like to see which cards are attracting your attention. If you're only attracted to one group, then pick that group. If you're attracted to 2 groups, you can look at the 2 groups, maybe 3 groups, maybe all of them are attracting you. Or it could be the case that none of the groups are attracting you and you actually don't feel a pull towards any of the cards in front of you. That's okay too. And if that's the case, I would advise that you just click out of this reading, and this reading may not be for you. Maybe I'm not the reader for you. Always keep that in mind when watching these pick a card readings. So without further ado, let's just get into the reading. Group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. Pause now if you want to have a little bit more time to pick, and I'm going to get started. So we're getting started with group number 1. So group number 1. Let's get into it. Group number 1. So what is this meeting going to be like? What kind of impression are you going to give? So this card will let us know the kind of impression that you're going to give off, the archetype that you are going to almost present within this meeting when you meet this person or these people. So let's get into it. We've got Destroyer, releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for a new life. And also intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. I obviously want to take both light and shadow attribute. And what I feel with this card is that you're going to come off as very powerful in this meeting. You're going to come off as someone who is very powerful, very empowered in your own thinking and your own opinions. You're also going to come off as someone who's not to be messed with, and exactly someone who's not to be underestimated or looked down upon. And I also feel like you're going to be coming off as someone who doesn't mind... The phrase that's coming to mind is burning bridges. You don't mind burning your bridges with things that are toxic or places where you're not respected. So there's a sense of you... Something that I'm getting from this card as well is like, you need me, I don't need you. So whatever this meeting is, even if it's professional, there may be a sense... like the other person or the other people may get a sense that you are not like dying to make a connection with them. You're not desperate to make a connection with them. You're not desperate to attach yourself to them. And in some sort of way that's going to be attractive, whether it's like, if let's say if it's an interviewer interviewing you for a position, something about that is attractive because you are not desperate for this position, you're not desperate for this role, because you know your own value and you're empowered in your own value, and that there's something very special about that. But at the same time, or if it's like a romantic situation, maybe the person that you're dealing with feels like you are not desperate for their love. You're not desperate for this connection with them. And that creates a sense of attraction between the two of you. But, you know, you're attractive from whatever point of view it makes sense for you to be attractive to the person that you're meeting with. You're attractive to the employer, or you're attractive to the romantic interest that you're meeting, or you're attractive from a friendship point of view if it's a platonic meeting. But you're coming off as very empowered, very empowered. A little bit intimidating as well. I feel like whoever you're meeting here, group one, they are noticing a sense, not that you want to intimidate them, but you will not bring yourself into a box, or you will not put yourself into a box. You will not put yourself into a lesser place just to impress someone. And that is kind of intimidating to whoever you're meeting here. Like, you're not really afraid to come off as intimidating at the same time. It's like this feeling of, well, if I come off as intimidating, that's the other person's problem, because that's not my intention. I'm just very empowered. I'm very sure of who I am and myself. Yeah, you're going to come off as this King of Swords energy. I feel like you're going to appear as someone who's very in control, someone who knows what they want, someone who knows what they stand for. I feel like you're going to come off as someone who has strong morals, strong integrity. I feel like if you're looking at this meeting from a point of view of your professional or career life, this is a really good indication here. To me, this is coming off as someone who's coming into the interview fully knowing who they are, fully knowing what they can offer, what they can put on the table. This is someone who knows their worth. This meeting will reveal that you know your worth, and you're not going to slash your worth. So for example, if this is an interview, it could be, you will not accept like a smaller salary. You will not devalue yourself in some sort of way. You will not accept a shitty work environment, for example. Wow, we've got the High Priestess. You will also come off as very knowledgeable in something. So again, if this is a professional setting especially, I feel like this is a really good sign for this first meeting. You're going to come off as someone very knowledgeable, someone who knows a lot, but you're going to come off as someone who's quite difficult to figure out at the same time. So even though you have this like wide range of knowledge, wisdom, a well of knowledge, I would even say, a volcano of knowledge. Interesting, you're a volcano of knowledge, that's what I'm getting. So another thing that I'm getting, you may give a lot of information in this first meeting. So whoever you're speaking to, whatever you're talking about, you may reveal a lot of information, but it's not necessarily about yourself. It's some sort of knowledge that you have. You will come off as someone who knows a lot on a specific subject, maybe even an expert on a certain subject. If this is a more like personal, emotional meeting that you're asking about, you may come off as a little bit colder or cooler. You may come off as not very emotionally involved, not very emotionally interested, maybe not even very emotionally invested. But at the same time, you will come off as someone who is engaged in this conversation, in this meeting. And similarly for career, whereas it makes sense for career, right? You're not too emotionally involved. You're not super emotional in this discussion, conversation, this meeting. You're cool, calm, collected, cool as a cucumber. It's funny because we're getting very strong energy of coolness, but at the same time we've got this destroyer card, which is, you know, we've got a volcano erupting here. So it's the energy that I'm getting is that you're this cool person, very cool, calm, collected, but whoever is meeting you, whoever is observing you in this meeting is going to be aware that there's like a volcano of knowledge and passion and fire beneath the surface. And so the thing that's going to be very obvious, but in a subtle kind of way, is that you are someone who knows how to keep your cool, knows how to keep your calm, knows how to be very elegant. I'm getting like a very elegant energy to you in this meeting, but you're also someone, and you can be even very softly spoken in this meeting, but you are coming off as someone who knows their worth, is not afraid to walk away from something if it doesn't serve them, is not afraid to demand exactly what they think they're worth, and has this well of knowledge and passion for a certain subject, specifically like a subject. I'm almost getting whatever this meeting is going to be, it's going to make the person on the other end or the people on the other end be aware of how passionate you are about a certain subject. We've got the 10 of Wands in reverse. You may also come off as someone who is not willing to take on excess. So again, that kind of makes me think if you're like interviewing for a position or this is like a career related meeting. Maybe you're going to make it very clear, I'm willing to do A, B, and C. I will not be doing, you know, anything else. And while you're coming off as very knowledgeable, very clever, very intelligent, very passionate, and very elegant, there is a sense that the person or the people on the other end are wondering if you are carrying too much on your shoulders already. It's like, does this person have too much on their hands already? Is this person doing a lot? Like, would this person be able to take this on? Whatever it is, you know, someone in this meeting might question whether you have space to take on what they need you to take on. If this is a relationship, like a close relationship, an emotional connection, I feel like the person on the other end may feel like you are not willing to take on what they would need you to take on within this friendship or relationship. It's very hard to read you. Whoever you're meeting with, whatever this meeting is about, the people or the person on the other end feels like it's very difficult to read you, but there's something very fascinating about you. So they can't help but want to read you and figure you out. Wow, Knight of Swords. Sword energy is very strong. You're definitely going to come across as a very strong communicator. Your communication skills are going to be very impressive. The way you speak and the way you deliver your thoughts, it may feel very to the point, but at the same time, there's a hint of passion. It's almost like when someone's talking about a subject that they know a lot about, the conversation seems to be revolving around a subject rather than emotional matters. And that's why I'm really struggling to see it as like, I keep leaning towards a more professional meeting. Or if it's not a professional meeting, it feels almost formal. There's almost a formality to it. So maybe if it is an emotional meeting, you know, romantic or platonic or familial, whatever it is, maybe both parties that are meeting are interested in being very cut and dry with each other, and speaking on a specific topic rather than talking about emotional matters. But the thing that I'm picking up on here is the way you speak on this topic, while it's cool, collected, and elegant, the person on the other end is able to see that you could be speaking about this topic with a lot more passion and a lot more, or it's almost like you even want to speak about this topic with a lot more passion and a lot more fire, but you're holding yourself back a little bit almost. You have to keep bringing yourself back because you're so passionate about it, but at the same time you want to be collected and maybe professional if this is a professional environment. I also want to pull an animal card to see what animal are you represented by in this meeting. We've got Sandpiper Spirit, be playful. So interesting, because we've got this playful energy at the same time. But it feels very understated. You're coming across as very intellectual, intelligent, elegant, knowledgeable, wise. Like you're aware of a lot. Your sense of awareness seems to be very sharp. You're someone who knows what you can take on and what you can't take on. Maybe you come across as someone with very strong boundaries as well. I think the other person or people on the other end will be aware that they will not be able to push you to do things you don't want to do. But at the same time, again, like I said, like this dormant volcano, there's almost a sense of playfulness and fire and inspiration that's bubbling up underneath. And you're giving them a peek into it, but you're not showing it completely. Now let's pull some astrology cards here. Jupiter. Jupiter does talk about wisdom and knowledge as well. Expansive knowledge. I actually have a video on Saturn and Jupiter coming up, so I'm very excited. I've already filmed it, so I will be uploading it soon. So check it out if you feel like it. But I am getting just, you're like a well of knowledge. It's like there's so much that you could bring to the table. That's what I'm getting. But you're not going to give it all away in one go. You're not going to be giving it away for free, I'm also getting. Again, very professional setting. The feeling that I'm getting is very professional rather than emotional. But again, Jupiter can be quite playful, right? Jupiter can be a very playful energy. So maybe there's going to be some humor and some jokes, but it's going to be the kind of humor that is almost like professional and to the point. It's not like a silly, goofy time. This meeting isn't a silly, goofy time, but you may come across as very witty. That's what I'm getting as well. So you may come across as someone who's very funny, very witty, has a great sense of humor. You might crack a couple of jokes that are really impressive. Yeah, Virgo energy. I feel like Virgo moons and Virgo Mercuries tend to be very, very witty. So maybe you have a Virgo moon or a Virgo Mercury. Maybe you have a Virgo Jupiter. But I am getting strong Virgo energy here. I mean, of course, we've got a Virgo card, but I feel like the Virgo energy really really resonates with what we've been seeing. It's very it can bring this sense of formality, but also knows how to pull it back and bring this casual energy in as well. You're gonna come across definitely as someone who knows their stuff. Like you're gonna come across as very knowledgeable, someone who knows what they're talking about. That's the main thing that I'm getting. It's like someone who knows what they're talking about, and it's not gonna be, you're not gonna be able to fool this person. You're not gonna be able to trick this person or make this person do more than what they're willing to do. You're not going to get to cross boundaries with this person. And I'm not saying the people that you're meeting with will have that intention. I'm not saying that at all, but it's just the impression that you give. This person's no fool. This person is no I wonder if there is something as well, because I keep hearing for your age. Because I keep looking at the King of Swords and the Knight of Swords, because I'm kind of getting, you may be in this Knight of Swords energy in terms of age or experience, or maybe you're only starting out in a certain career, you're only starting out in a certain area, or maybe you're quite young, but you're actually this King of Swords. You're not this Knight of Swords. This Knight of Swords energy allows you to be witty and playful and bouncy, but you're actually this King of Swords High Priestess energy. So you may seem very wise or very intelligent for your age even. You may seem like someone who... And again, it's like, I feel like that's a little bit condescending, right? Because I feel like when you hear that, it's kind of like, oh, that doesn't feel very nice. Everyone can be wise. And in fact, like, younger people can be wiser than a certain older person. It's so relative and it's so subjective as well. But it will seem like it's something about this energy is very impressive. It's like, wow, this person is so young and it is so articulate or something like that. Or this person has only gotten into this profession a year ago and they're already better at it than someone who was in this profession for years. There's that kind of sense that I'm picking up on. You're going to come off as very savvy in this meeting. That's what I'm getting. There's a savviness, there's a wit to you, there's a cleverness, and at the same time, it's not very easy to figure you out. It's not very easy to know what you are actually thinking. Very empowered. It's like you're so empowered because you know your shit. You know everything there is to know on the subject that you're talking about. And you're so expansive and you're not done evolving. You're not done growing. You're not done moving forward in life. I feel like whoever you're meeting with here is going to be impressed. That's the energy that I'm picking up on. And we've got energy field. Get back what you put into the universe. Manifestation, attraction, and momentum. I feel like whoever you speak to or whoever you're dealing with in this meeting is going to be of the opinion that whether with their help or not, you're going to get what you've set out to get out of life. That you're going to make your dreams reality. Your plans will have a tangible result. Your life will grow in a tangible, physical way. Something about your words, it's like you're not just talking. You're not just speaking. Although you are an eloquent speaker, you're very witty with your language. You're very clever with your language. You're going to come off as someone who is not just talking out of their ass. You're actually going to put these words to action. Get back what you put into the universe. You're going to come off as someone who always gets the results that they want when they put their energy into something, because they're very strong with their boundaries. They're very careful not to take on too much, to break their back doing something, but that you also put in effort. You put in effort into whatever you take on. You are very consistent. You analyze. You use your cleverness very efficiently. You're not just clever, because if you're clever and you have this sharp mind, but you don't apply your sharp mind to anything, you may as well not be clever, right? I mean, depends on who you ask, but the feeling that I'm getting here, and again, it feels like such a professional meeting, or if it is a personal meeting, it may just feel a little bit more formal. But damn, are you impressing someone here? You're impressing someone on in a big way here. You're coming off as a very impressive character, a very impressive entity, I almost want to say. And one thing, again, I really want to get back to the destroyer energy. You're not to be messed with. You're not going to be messed around. You're going to say, like, all right, do you want to work with me or do you not want to work with me? Do you want to proceed with this plan or do you not want to proceed with this plan? Do you want to work on our relationship or do you not want to work on our relationship? Because I need answers and I know you want answers, and I can only give you answers if we have like an effective communication going here. And we're honest and we're to the point with each other. And I feel like that is something that's going to appeal to the person on the other end or the people on the other end, whoever you're meeting here. So that's what I have for you, group number 1. So that is how your meeting is going to go, whatever type of meeting it is. If you feel like sharing feedback around... If you feel like sharing feedback around this, please do in the comments. I'd love to hear what meeting this actually is. If it is in fact a professional meeting, that would make sense. Or maybe you are meeting with someone who's a little bit colder and more formal, and therefore maybe you like to appear this way, or maybe you're aware of yourself being that way in your communication or interaction. So that's all I have for you. I'm gonna leave it here. And we're going to move on. If you did like this video, do like, subscribe, and comment. I would really appreciate it to drive some engagement to my readings. That would be really helpful. And I'm going to move on. So let's move on to group number 2. Let's get into it. Let's see this meeting that you're going to be having, that you're going to be engaging in. What is it going to be like? And first we're looking at the impression you're going to give. So let's look at it. So what impression are you giving in this meeting? First of all, we'll get more information as we go. Student, humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. Okay, so you're coming off as someone who's very studious, someone who doesn't try to be an expert, someone who doesn't want to appear like they're so masterful and so expertly in the way that they live their life. You appear as someone who's eternally curious, eternally evolving in your knowledge and your wisdom. And we've also got virgin, maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. It's interesting because you may come off as someone who is a novice at something, but someone who is extremely interested in whatever it is they're a novice at. So in this meeting, you may come off as not having a lot of experience, but as someone with a lot of promise. That's the feeling that I'm getting. So you may not have a lot of experience in the field that you are talking about, or you're maybe you only started working in a certain area, or maybe you only started studying a certain thing. But you may come off as someone with limited experience, but someone who loves to collect knowledge, probably has collected a lot of knowledge, but doesn't act like they're an expert. And so you have a lot of potential and a lot of promise, and there's a lot that you could bring to the table, I'm getting as well. But there's a real innocent nature to you, and not from the point of view that you are just like this innocent, pure, fluffy ball of air or whatever. You're just coming off as someone who's very open to learning and very open to receiving input from other people. You're someone who's very open to feedback. You're not someone who's afraid or egotistical and rejects or gets defensive when feedback is given or when constructive criticism is given. I'm getting that a little bit. You may come across as someone who is very interested in having passionate conversations as well in this meeting. Very passionate speaker, passionate talker. You may come across as very easy to communicate with. Like, it's not very hard to get words out of you. It's not very hard to get information out of you. You're very willing with offering up information. Seven of Swords. You may come across, well, one thing that I'm picking up on is that you're very open with your communication and you're offering up information very openly in this meeting. But the other person may feel like some of the information that you're offering, it's like you're choosing your words carefully. Whoever you're meeting with, even though you're offering information and it's not a problem for you to actually communicate or speak, the other person or the other people on the other end may feel like you're choosing your words and your phrasing carefully. You're trying to not misspeak in some sort of way. You're trying to speak in a way that you think will be pleasing to the other person, potentially. There's a sense of like that person's choosing their words very carefully. Whoever you're meeting here. So maybe if you are meeting someone for like a personal meeting, maybe you are being very careful with your words because you maybe think that the person that you're dealing with is sensitive, or maybe you think that the person you're dealing with is someone who gets offended easily, or maybe you feel like if this is a professional setting, maybe you're choosing your words carefully because you're nervous because you're doing an interview, or this is like a career meeting. I also feel like whoever's on the other side may feel like you're undecided on your future, or that you haven't completely fully decided on where to take your ideas and your knowledge that you have gathered so far. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because what I feel is, again, you're coming off as the student, someone with a lot of potential, someone with a lot of promise, and you haven't fully solidified what it is you want yet. You haven't fully solidified what it is you want to achieve in life. Maybe you haven't really decided where you want to take your goals and aspirations yet. You're still working through it. I also feel something about this energy feels like the person on the other end, or people on the other end, may feel like whatever they can offer you, there's almost an insecurity here, especially if this is a personal meeting. Like, you'd get bored with whatever they have to offer you. Like, you are someone who needs a lot of stimulation in terms of your... It's like you need a lot of stimulation. You need a lot of communication. You're someone who really enjoys brainstorming, being very creative, being very expansive in your knowledge. You're giving me Gemini energy. So I'm really picking up on strong Gemini. Mercury in general. So Virgo could be quite strong here as well. But Gemini is standing out to me, and it kind of feels like, if we think about Gemini energy needs a lot of mental stimulation, a lot of communication, a lot of space to be curious and explore interests. And it feels like whoever you're having this meeting with on the other end feels like they can't provide that to you. It's like you'll get bored with it. You'll get disinterested in it. Whatever it is, or in them. They may even feel during the meeting that they're boring you. Whoever this other person is, they may feel like they're boring you. Like they can't possibly engage with you. If this is a professional setting, whoever is like interviewing you or is having a professional meeting with you, they may feel like They may even feel like you're feigning your interest in the job. That's another thing that I'm picking up on. Like, again, you know, the way you're choosing your words carefully. Something about this feels like this is not something you're actually interested in. This is not the type of job you're actually interested in. You need something a lot more stimulating. You need something with a lot more room for communication, curiosity, exploration. And so whoever's on the other side may feel like you're pretending to be interested or pretending to be. And I mean, this doesn't mean that that's actually true. This is just what the impression that the other person or other people might get. I want to pull an animal card to see what animal you'll what animal is representing you in this meeting. Lion. Be generous of spirit. I feel like you will come across, although you are someone who is maybe a bit of a novice, you're not super experienced. I feel like you'll come off as someone who's not super experienced. You will come across as someone who's very confident, though. Someone who's confident in their abilities, in their expression, in their capabilities. Not just abilities, but like how capable they are. It's not that I'm able to do things. I'm also very capable. I'm able to apply myself. But it's like that's not what the other person or the other people on the other side, that's not what they're going to have doubts about. They will have no doubt that your confidence and you're very capable, that you have a lot of confidence and you're very capable, and you're someone who has a lot of promise and is very impressive in a way. But what they will worry about or have a struggle to believe or feel like they struggle to believe that you're interested in whatever this is, this job, this project, this situation. Maybe if this is a romantic meeting, maybe this person will struggle to believe that you're interested in them. Like if this is a date or something. But again, that can be due to their own insecurities. But I feel like a lot of it is because this person is noticing that you are someone who is always craving intellectual stimulation. And this person or these people are not sure they can provide that to you. Void of course, moon missing. Chiron. Whoever's on the other side may feel unsure on how to proceed with this. After this meeting, they may be a little bit confused, to be honest. There is a sense of confusion that I'm picking up on. So, it'll kind of feel like you gave a lot of information. You communicated effectively. You were very confident. After this meeting, you will come across as someone who's willing to learn, willing to improve, willing to take feedback. But at the same time, for some reason, whoever is at the other end of this meeting, they'll feel a sense of confusion about you. And it seems to be connected to the fact that they feel they couldn't possibly interest you. Or maybe that you're not interested in the same things. Like that could also be something that, like maybe there's a sense of like we're not compatible in what we're interested in. It's not a question of whether your character is good or whether your overall presence or expression is good. It's a question of whether you and whoever is on the other end of the meeting, whether there's a fit that happens. Like does it actually fit? Does it actually make sense for us to be together, work together, connect together? There's that kind of feeling that I'm picking up on. But don't worry if this is like interview situation that you're asking about, I'm not necessarily getting that this is like a no. I'm not getting that this is a like a hard no or anything like that. It may just take some time for after this meeting for whoever is on the other end to get back to you or to make up their mind, I'm getting as well. I feel like something about you within this meeting, you're just coming across as someone who's interested in a different approach than whoever you're dealing with here. So for example, if this is a job, it may feel like the job or the company or the organization always work a certain way and hire a certain type of person. And you come into an interview and you seem very knowledgeable, but at the same time, someone who's not done learning, very curious, very full of promise, very full of ideas, very confident in your abilities and how capable you are. But you're not what they're used to. They're not used to your type of approach. It's almost hard for whoever is involved in this conversation or this meeting to wrap their head around how you would fit in with what they're trying to achieve and how would they fit in with what you're trying to get to. And there's a real big worry around, will this actually be interesting enough for group 2? This relationship, this job, this endeavor. Childhood home, tap into your inner child, childhood memories, play, and youthful energy. Very interesting. You will come off as someone who's very youthful. I wonder if this is a kind of meeting where someone is very old-fashioned and you are very progressive. I kind of feel that a little bit with this reading. Whoever is involved here, I don't know, like if this is a meeting with someone that is more personal, maybe you're meeting with someone who's older than you. You may just come across as someone who has very progressive ideas, and maybe this person just can't handle that, or these people can't handle it because that's not something that they're used to. It's not something that they can even connect to because there's no experience of it. You're coming across as someone who's very playful in your approach. Very playful, but almost there is a sense of you being chaotic. I'm not gonna lie. So it's like you're chaos. But the thing is, it's not that you're chaos from a bad perspective or a bad point. It's just that you appear more chaotic to whoever is involved in this meeting because they're not used to your type of chaos. But I cannot help. It's almost like, the way a child could get bored very easily. And I'm not saying that this person sees you as a child. I think this person sees you as someone with a lot of promise. But this person or these people or whoever you're meeting with are seeing you after this first meeting or after this meeting. They're seeing you as someone who could get bored very easily with what is to be achieved here or what this other person or these other people can offer. That you won't be fully engaged, that you won't be fully present even. That your mind might be elsewhere. There's that feeling of, like if we give group 2 this job, will they actually be in this job? Or will they be studying something else, constantly looking at something else? Or if it's a personal meeting, maybe this person is thinking, am I interesting enough for group 2? And if I do proceed in my relationship with group 2, will group 2 always be craving something new, something more exciting, something more interesting? Because I can't provide that sense of playfulness to group 2 that they seem to crave. It almost feels like with this group, after this meeting, whoever you're dealing with, they will question whether they can meet your needs intellectually, and from a point of view of creativity, curiosity, and your thirst for knowledge, your thirst for exploration. They will question that. I do feel that. And whether you can maybe even fulfill their needs, because their needs may be different to what they perceive you can give them. So if you're asking about a professional scenario, I feel like there's an intriguing energy though. Like they'll be intrigued and there will be this feeling of like, but they seem like they have such a progressive way of looking at problems. They seem to have such a good system for how they're, and maybe it's a good idea to hire someone or get with someone who has this very fresh perspective. Maybe that could actually bring a lot of, inspiration into my life, or inspiration to this job or this workplace. But again, it's like weighing their options up. And so I feel like after this meeting, whoever you're meeting with, they're kind of undecided and they're finding it very hard to make a decision, because you've definitely intrigued them, but they're not used to your energy. They're not used to your type of approach, and that is scaring them a little bit. That's what I'm getting. So that's what I have for you, group number 2. So if you like this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment with your feedback if you feel like it. If you feel like sharing, I would really love to hear. Very interesting reading for sure. But I'm going to move on. So let's move on into group 3. So how's this meeting? Whether platonic, romantic, professional, how's this meeting going to go? Let's get into it. These 2 cards are the archetype cards that are going to tell us what is the impression that you're leaving these people or this person with. Let's get into it. Mystic, very nice. Revels in the intimate union with the divine. So you could come across as someone who is very connected with spiritual energy. You could come across as someone who's maybe even psychic, very connected to the universe, understands the universe very well. You could come across as someone who has a very personal relationship with spiritual energies in your life, whether it be your spirit guides, ancestors, whether it be the elements, whether it be, witchcraft, whatever it is. You could come across as very mystical, and I'm even getting the word ethereal, so there could be an ethereal energy to you as well from this person's or people's points of view. And we've also got mother, so nurturance, patience, unconditional love, joy in giving birth to life. You could come across as a mother. If you are a mother, you could come across as a really good mother, someone who, or if you are a parent, you could come across as a really good parent. Someone who really cares about their kids. Maybe you're the kind of person, if you are a parent, you really love talking about your kids. But outside of that, I feel like you are going to come across as someone who really cares about their projects. Especially if this is more of a professional setting, you could come across as someone who really cares about their projects and what they're working on, and treats their projects like they're their baby, like understands you're going to come across as someone who understands that when someone works on a project or someone works on a piece of art or anything, it becomes like their baby. It becomes their child. It becomes their it's like they're carrying a child into fruition, into existence. And I feel like you're gonna show this energy of someone who knows how to nurture a project, someone who knows how to nurture a child, maybe for some of you, someone who knows how to nurture something from the very like from a seed to a full-blown plant. I'm also noticing both cards begin with M, so maybe M is an important letter here. I'm also hearing with the mystic, I'm seeing my mother. You might remind someone of their mother or their parent. For some reason, that's coming through as well. If you're connecting with someone here and that feels like a resonant message, But yeah, for some reason I heard, like, I just read the my mother. So maybe you'll remind someone of their mother or their parent. And that is going to have a sense of comforting. Something about you is coming across as very comforting and reassuring. Very comforting, very reassuring, very like very calming energy. I'm almost getting you're giving this person or these people the impression that you can create a sense of balance, relaxation, you can create a sense of calmness. But you're definitely giving off the impression of someone who's very connected to nature, to the universe, and through that you're able to create and bring projects into life. There is this feeling of you birthing life, whether it be through a project, through an artwork, through a literal child. You're someone who knows how to birth life into, or breathe life into things. That's kind of what I'm feeling. So if it is like a career meeting, you may just come across as someone who could really put all of your energy, put your all into a project, into into a project. But I also feel like there's a sense of compassion. So I feel like whoever you're meeting with will feel like they are heard by you, like you are not speaking over them, that you're a really good listener, that you're really good at understanding people's needs. We've got the 10 of Wands. I also feel like with the 10 of Wands here, you're not going to overburden this person or people. Whoever you're meeting with here, like you're going to make their life easier rather than harder. Because the 10 of Wands in reverse to me can sometimes talk about releasing someone of responsibility, releasing someone of difficulties. It's like, here, let me take that on for you. Let me take this on for you. It's like you're going to take a lot of heaviness, a lot of burden off their shoulders almost. Yeah, I mean, with the Sun card again, especially if you're a parent, you could come across as an excellent parent. Someone who has like a natural knack for being a parent almost. But again, if someone has a natural knack for being a parent, they also have a natural knack for creating, just being a creator of life, creator of a living project or enterprise. You're natural at knowing what the world needs. That's what I'm getting as well from this meeting. It's almost like you know how to read energy. Maybe that's why you're coming off as this mystic. You're able to read people's needs. You're able to read, like you're really good at reading a room and knowing what that room needs, what that room is lacking. Cancer energy is quite strong here for me, even though, and I mean, this is Leo energy with the Sun, but I'm getting strong Cancer energy for this group. You're also coming across as someone who is effortlessly optimistic. It's like you have this, it's very hard to get you down. That's a feeling that I'm getting as well. So after this meeting, whoever is involved here, whether it's multiple people or one person, it's almost like, especially if there's multiple people, I feel like I keep getting the image of people turning to each other and being like, wow, that person is amazing. Like that person just knows, like understands life. That person just, and it's like everyone's in agreement about it as well. It's like we're all in agreement here that that person is incredible, impressive, interesting. I think this is a really good impression. Especially with the sun being here, it's very positive overall that you're leaving in this meeting. We've got the 7. It's funny, the 7 of Cups, has it come out in every single group so far? I feel like it has. I can't remember for sure. Definitely came out in the last group. You're coming across as someone who is very aware. Of how varied the human experience can be. There's something about you just understanding the human experience. That is a big message that I'm getting. So if it is a personal meeting, maybe the person feels very understood by you, whoever you're meeting, like if it is like if it's a date or like maybe you're meeting with a friend or whoever, it's like you get them. But they also see that it's not just that you get them, you just get the human experience. And because you have such a good understanding of universe, elements, the human experience, therefore you're able to apply that to any person, and it's very easy for you to understand anybody. There's something kind of poignant here because it's almost like, especially if this is a romantic connection or a friendship, it's this sense that you're not someone who... You're very aware that every single person is very special and very unique, and they have a very unique magical thing to show. And so I feel like whoever you're dealing with here, whoever you're meeting with, they see that you can see something very special in them, and they're going to be feeling like you are able to perceive something very special in them. You can pinpoint something very special in them, but there's almost a sense of poignancy because they understand that you can see that in anybody. It's not that they're super special to you, it's that you're aware that universally every single person has a very special specific gift or a talent, and you're able to make anybody feel special. That's what I'm feeling like. I feel like a lot of people get... I wonder if a lot of people like kind of develop very strong feelings for you or very strong affection for you, because you're able to see so much beauty in people, individuals. But a lot of people kind of look at it from a perspective, wow, this person sees me like no other person has before. But it takes a while for them to realize that that's the case for you with anybody. I am getting strong Empress energy here as well. So for a lot of you, that might resonate. We've got the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Whoever you're dealing with here in this meeting may feel like they have to change their routine or change what they're used to doing day to day in order to collaborate with you or work with you or proceed with you. So for example, if this is a date, whoever you're meeting, whoever you're dealing with here, they may be very impressed by you, have very positive, warm feelings towards you. They're going to feel very special being around you and talking to you, getting to speak to you, getting to talk to you. But they will also consider, it's like, oh, if I want to take this person on another date or if I want to proceed with this relationship, I'm going to have to change my day-to-day life because what I'm doing with my life right now, this person I'm on this date with, they're not gonna vibe with it. They're not gonna vibe with my routine, I guess, or a certain part of my routine. Because the overall feeling is very positive. Like, I'm getting a sense of like almost, especially if this is more of a romantic thing, it's like this person might even be romanticizing you a little bit, putting you on a pedestal a little bit. So maybe you have to be careful around that. You need to be careful around whoever is involved, people or person in this meeting, to be like, to bring them back into reality. And even though you are very impressive and there is a lot of positivity to you, and yes, you are very mystical and you do understand the universe, and maybe you even have some psychic intuitive skills that are really, really impressive, it does not mean that you're just a human being at the end of the day as well. You're just a flawed human being, just like anybody else. You are someone who makes mistakes and does silly or stupid things. You're someone who can have negative traits, and especially if this is like a romantic or a friendship thing, you may have to manage that and make sure that you're not being idolized, or, you know, set strong boundaries around not being idolized in this situation. Let's look at what animal will represent you in this meeting. Chameleon spirit, act as if. I also like that we've got green and purple in this card, and we've got green and purple in the two cards with Mystic and Mother. With the chameleon spirit, I do feel like the thing about chameleons is like there's a shape-shifting energy here. And I do feel like whoever you're meeting with here, they'll feel like you are someone who can take on multiple roles at once. You're someone who can almost live life in many different costumes, or in many different roles. Like, you're not someone who is only defined in one single way. And that can be very compelling and very interesting and really fascinating to this person or these people. But no matter how magical whoever is involved here sees you, it's really important for them to remember that you are just a human being at the end of the day. You are liable to make mistakes. You are liable to be imperfect. And that needs to be a reminder, whether you do that through your energy, through your communication. Desire. So especially if this is a romantic or a personal connection, I feel like this person will desire you. Now, I want to highlight that if this is more of a platonic friendship thing, it may be that this person will just desire being in your presence very, very strongly. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be, you know, any sexual feelings or romantic feelings. Now, if this is a date or some sort of a meeting where you know that there's a romantic energy, then I feel like this person will be desiring you a lot. This person will desire to be closer to you, to get to know you more. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that. If especially if this is like a date or something like that. If this is a date, this person may feel like you would be ideal to have children with. I am seeing that as well. Of course, if that's not what you want, that's fine. This is just what this person may think of you. Or people. If this is not a date, like if this is a professional setting, if this is a professional setting and you are going for a job, I feel like they will desire you for that job. That's the energy that I'm getting here. So because one thing that you're coming across as is a multitasker, someone who knows how to multitask, but not a multitasker who is chaotic or very intuitive type of multitasker. You know when to switch your energies. You know when to switch approaches. You know when to use a different type of system. You know when something is not working anymore. So if this is a job that you're going for, I definitely feel like whoever is interviewing you or whoever you're meeting with, they will desire to bring you into that workspace or that job. Okay, we've got air. Open-mindedness, objectivity, and learning. Something about open-mindedness is standing out to me here. I feel like you're going to come across as someone who's very open-minded and you're not super rigid. It is coming with the chameleon energy. I'm definitely getting a lot of, even though we've got fire and air, I'm getting a lot of water. So there's something very open-minded, like yeah, we can do it this way or we can do it this way. You're gonna come across as someone who's very flexible with your approach to life, to work, whatever it is. So maybe you don't have a rigid way of doing things, a set way of doing things, with the Eight of Pentacles being in reverse here, and you're actually quite fluid in the way that you work. And so you're not very easy to pin down, though, in your energy. So it's not very easy to exactly figure out your motives, but it's almost like whoever you're meeting with here is not going to care about that. It's not going to bother them, you know? There's almost this sense of, I'm desiring this person for whatever my objectives are here. Whether this is a job, it's like, yes, we're desiring group 3 for that job. If it's a date, this person will desire to be for like definitely desire another date, another meeting with you. If this is a friendly meeting, this person will desire to be in your life as a friend, and for you to be in their life as a friend. Oh, we've got Succubus Cave. Protect your energy, draining energy, toxic relationships, and temptation. Ooh, temptation is very strong here. Again, as I said, if this is a romantic situation, this person is definitely very tempted by you, is very interested in you. I'm getting a very strong yes in terms of like, will they be interested in me? Whether it's professional, platonic, or romantic. One thing I will say, be careful, because I'm getting a very strong sense of gain. This person sees, or these people see, that they have a lot to gain in bringing you on, and in bringing you on or bringing you in or engaging with you, collaborating with you, whatever the situation is. But be careful that you are not drained of your very mystical and magical energy in this situation. I feel like you may have to set very strong boundaries with whoever is involved here. And it's not to say that anyone here is like badly intentioned or that anything sinister is going on here. I'm more so getting that I would just be, especially if this is a work situation, be careful, because they're seeing your benefits. They're definitely seeing your benefits. So it's really important that you're aware of the fact that you have a lot to bring to the table, that you have a lot to show for here. And if this is a romantic situation, again, similar, or a friendship situation even, this person that you're dealing with knows that there's a lot to be gained for themselves through this relationship with you. This person sees that you could bring a lot of blessings, a lot of fulfillment into their life. And so it's up to you to make sure that they're also bringing value into your life, that you're not being just drained of your energy. So boundaries are going to be very important. I almost feel like after this meeting, and this is not necessarily I'm not seeing this as a bad thing, but really who gets more gain out of this meeting is the people on the other side, or the person on the other side in this situation. So you need to evaluate how much gain you would be getting out of those people and out of that person, and would they be meeting your needs in this situation. So like if this is a job, I feel like this job or this work situation will have a lot to gain from you, and so you have to assess carefully if you will have as much to gain from, or will this person or people, will they meet your needs effectively in this scenario. But it doesn't necessarily mean that whoever's on the other end is badly intentioned. They're just so aware of how much they can gain by being in your presence, by engaging with you. So you have to make sure that you're correlating that with your own experience, and that you're looking after yourself and your own gain within the matter. So that's what I have for you, group number 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did like it, do like, subscribe, and comment, especially with your feedback. I'd really love to see what you thought of this reading. But we're going to move on. So let's move on to group number 4. Last but not least, let's get into it. So your meeting, whether it's professional, platonic, romantic, whatever type of meeting you are going to be having with whoever, what is going to be the impression of you after this meeting, and what is happening in this meeting? Let's get into it. We've got Saboteur. Highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it will bring to your life. And we've got Goddess. Okay, very interesting. The feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. It's almost like whoever is involved in this meeting with you is worried that there's a lot of appeal to you in this meeting, but it's almost like someone is afraid that your appeal is somehow dangerous. I keep getting the energy of like, so whoever's on the other side of this meeting feels like you're so charming and you're so engaging, but they worry that it's a trap. I'm hearing, is it a trap though? Someone might be a little bit paranoid, whoever's on the other side of the meeting. You could be feeling similarly though. Make sure not to sabotage yourself in this meeting, especially if this is a professional meeting. You might be feeling like you are, your imposter syndrome might be acting up a little bit. So, and I actually just saw it was 1:11:11 on the timestamp as I said that, so it feels like a confirmation. Like some of you may be suffering from some imposter syndrome in this meeting, especially if it's a professional situation. And so you may feel the need to sabotage yourself before you get rejected. If this is a romantic or like a more personable meeting, it could be that whoever you're dealing with, both of you are almost not unintentionally sabotaging yourself in this meeting and creating difficulties in this meeting. But at the same time, I feel with the Goddess energy, it's like both of you are also very interested in each other, or very interested in engaging with each other, but because of your own insecurities or your own imposter syndrome, you might be sabotaging the meeting. I also feel like for some of you, this is a message only for a few of you, but if this meeting gets cancelled for some of you, don't be worried. I feel like there's going to be an opportunity to reschedule this meeting, so don't be too worried about that. It's like this meeting might get sabotaged, but not in like a bad way. Like there might be external things that sway this meeting. And the devil. There's a lot of fear. I feel like, well, it's almost like whoever you're dealing with, if this is a more professional situation, this could indicate to me that you need to be careful whether you take this opportunity on. Like if this is an interview, let's say, just be careful around, is this actually an opportunity that you want to go for? Or is this an opportunity that is tempting because it is maybe a high salary, but it's not actually what you want to do? Or maybe it is something that has a lot of promise, but at the same time, again, it's not something that you actually want to do for a living. Two of Cups. For a lot of you, this is going to be more so a personal meeting, I feel, rather than a professional, for sure. Something about this meeting feels paradoxical almost. And on both parties, it feels like both parties want to be very controlling. It's like, I want to be in control. No, I want to be in control. No, I want to be in control. No, I want to be in control. For most of you, it's most likely that it's a one-to-one meeting as well. Like, it's not going to be a group meeting. It's just two people meeting. I'm also hearing to iron out their differences. So maybe this is a meeting after a long separation or after a conflict. Or it's a meeting that is happening because of some toxicity. It feels like two people are trying to work out something toxic here for a lot of you. There's a lot of temptation in this meeting as well. So for some of you, it may feel like you are tempted to do things that feel like you're tempted to do something that you would not be proud of, or maybe the other person feels like they're tempted to do something that they wouldn't be proud of, or say something they wouldn't be proud of. But I feel like at the same time, with the Two of Cups being here, I feel like both parties are interested in maintaining a rapport. Like, I don't think either parties want to fight or anything like that, or either parties want a conflict or anything like that. But there's a temptation to sabotage, or there's a temptation to do something that it's like, oh, we shouldn't do this. This shouldn't be happening. Whether you go through with that temptation or not, that's up to you. But there's definitely going to be a temptation. This really feels like a personal, if not like sexual, a romantic kind of meeting rather than a professional one. Now, if it's a professional one, I feel like you just need to really consider whether you're being tempted into this opportunity or whether this opportunity is actually for you. That's the way that I would convert it to a more professional setting, if this is a more professional meeting. Are you being seduced into a job that you don't actually want to do? Are you being seduced into an opportunity that deep down in your heart you know is not for you? One thing that I'm picking up on is that if you can resist certain temptations within this meeting, if you can resist thinking from a point of view of your fears or your weaknesses, if you're able to stand very empowered in this meeting can have a lot of potential for growth for you. This meeting can make you feel very optimistic about the future, but you need to resist temptation in order for that to happen. Another thing that I'm picking up on, if this is a professional meeting, avoiding temptation and avoiding being tempted into something that you know is not for you can, even if you don't get the job, let's say, or even if you don't end up going with this opportunity, it'll show you a new way of existing, or it might teach you something. So for example, if this was an interview and you know that this job has a lot of money to offer, but you know that the nature of the job is not something you want to do at all, by rejecting this job, let's say, or saying this is not for you, you could learn a skill of literally rejecting opportunities that are not for you. That is a skill, no matter how tempting they are, and that it's something that you could be very proud of yourself for. And this can actually attract a correct opportunity your way. Now, that this can also be converted to a personal relationship. Maybe whoever you're meeting here, you know that you're tempted to be with them, or you're tempted to have some sort of a connection with them. But if you reject them, it's almost like you and walk away from this person because you know they're not good for you. You can actually be very proud of yourself. For some of you, it's not for all of you. Do the right thing. That's what I heard. It's really important to do the right thing in this meeting. So again, don't succumb to seduction, temptation, or fear. do what's right, do what feels morally correct, or something that aligns with your integrity, something that aligns with your code of conduct. It feels like a bit of a sticky situation, this meeting does. That's the way that I'm interpreting it. Whether it's professional, platonic, romantic, it feels like it's like I'm tempted to sabotage something. I'm tempted to succumb to my weaknesses or my fears, my temptations. It's like I'm just so tempted. But if you can resist that temptation, you could actually bring yourself to a point of like great pride and great respect for yourself. That's another thing that I'm getting here. I feel like a lot of you who are asking about this meeting, you may even cancel this meeting yourself. Maybe canceling this meeting is actually the right thing to do. And some of you might know this. Like maybe you are due to meet a person and you know that this person, you shouldn't be meeting this person because you know this person has been toxic to you in the past or something like that, or this person betrayed you. Or maybe you know that this person, meeting this person would be more against your morals or against your personal code of conduct. And so maybe canceling this meeting at all, or not going through with this meeting is what is needed. But that's not going to be for all of you. For some of you, you actually need to have this meeting, but you need to resist something within this meeting. You will know which one it is, because you will intuitively know if the correct thing is to not go to this meeting at all. And for some of you, you will know, I should go to this meeting, I should go and meet this person or these people, but I should also be very careful not to fall into temptation around something here. There's a need to approach this meeting with a more logical and level-headed point of view rather than from a place of passion or instinct or emotion. Saturn talks about needing to restrict yourself, restrain yourself. And it's funny because we've got the Devil card here ruled by Capricorn ruled by Saturn. Maybe there's a need to restrain yourself in some sort of way, to not fall victim to a temptation that could lead to something that sabotages something good for you. I also wanted to pull a card of the animal that you are going to be representing in this meeting. What the energy of that animal? Pig spirit. Use your mind wisely. That makes sense. Use your mind wisely. Be very balanced in your decision making in this meeting. Restrain yourself from... Another way how this could play out is if this is a personal meeting and you're meeting someone who you're maybe trying to iron out some conflict with, resist the urge to, when you get an urge to be really mean or nasty to someone because they've hurt you and because you feel really angry at them. I feel like your guides are asking you to refrain from that. It's like, just walk away. If you feel like stooping down to someone's level, just walk away. Yeah, there is something like that. It's like, refrain from stooping to this person's level if they're trying to trigger you, for example. But again, if that's the case, and if you're aware that that's a possibility for some of you, is this a good idea? Is it a good idea to go to this meeting at all? Is it a good idea to proceed with this meeting at all? Do you need to make a decision here to maybe cancel this meeting? But again, it won't be for all of you. Won't be the case for all of you. Aries. Independence, bravery, and passion. There is a lot of passion. I feel like if it is a romantic or a sexual connection, there will be a lot of sexual temptation that will be happening that you're going to have to keep in check. Or, not that you have to, your cards will never tell you what to do. But also Aries talks about anger an impulse. So there could be a need to control your impulses in this meeting, and use your mind wisely. Be very balanced with your mind. Meet this person halfway as much as you can, but don't undermine yourself. Don't fall victim to your fears or temptations when speaking to this person or connecting with this person or people. And if this is a job, another thing that I'm getting with, if this is like a professional thing, make sure that if you're being rushed or you're being pushed to make a decision too quickly about something here, about after this meeting or prior to this meeting or within the meeting, make sure that you are putting your foot down and saying, I need more time to think about this. You know, I'm not going to make a decision right now. Please don't rush me on my decision. This is not something I want to take lightly. Yeah. Breathing forest. Feel the earth below your feet. Nature, grounding energy, and balance. We've got the balance again. You may want to meditate and ground yourself before you go to this meeting, if that's possible for you. You're gonna have to be cool-headed for this meeting. And because what I'm getting is like hot and heavy energy. Of course, it's going to depend on the kind of meeting. But again, I feel like for a lot of you, this is going to be a more personal relationship type of a meeting. But I feel like your guides are saying if you are able to approach it with a more logical, cool-minded way, you will have more success within this meeting rather than if you approach this meeting from an instinctual, impulsive place. Because if you are too impulsive, you could actually sabotage something for yourself through your impulses. And definitely keep your anger in check. That's something that's coming through, like keeping your anger in check, keeping your like, again, I'm not saying you're aggressive, but like keeping your aggression in check where you are not lashing out. Again, I'm not saying that you're going to lash out, but for some of you that might be. But I honestly feel like this meeting, the more cool-headed you can be for it, the better. And there will be certain temptations. Keep yourself grounded. Keep yourself also thinking what's realistic. Make sure that whoever you're dealing with here, what are they promising? What are they saying to you? Is what they're saying realistic? Is what they're promising realistic? This is definitely a head over heart kind of scenario. Head over, but it's like head over instinct and impulse more so. But I feel over heart as well, because with the Two of Cups, you may have, for some of you, especially if this is like a more romantic connection, you may have a lot of feelings for this person. You may have a lot of love for this person, but this person knows how to trigger you at the same time. And this person really knows how to tempt you or make you feel like you're slipping into your weaknesses or fears and you're becoming susceptible to them. So if you do go through with this meeting, having a cool head is the best approach, I feel. So that's what I have for you, group number 4. I hope this reading resonated. I hope it gave you some insight. If you feel like sharing feedback, definitely do. That was an interesting one. And if you like the video, do like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. That would really help out my channel. But yeah, that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!